Special counsel Jack Smith today taking on Trump's delay tactics, and the one person in a position to call it out for what it really is, a political ploy disguised as a legal strategy. Judge Aileen Cannon. Frustrations with the judge in the Mar-a-Lago documents case boiling over in a filing late last night regarding instructions to the potential jury in the trial. Smith asked the judge to hurry up and rule on what is one of Team Trump's most brazen claims, that the documents Trump hoarded at Mar-a-Lago in a bathroom and a bedroom and a basement, documents containing some of this nation's most secret and protected national security secrets, actually belonged rightfully to Trump because of the Presidential Records Act, or the PRA. Special counsel writing this, quote, "The court should be aware at the outset that Trump's entire effort to rely on the PRA is not based on any facts. It is a post hoc justification that was concocted more than a year after he left the White House. Importantly, Trump has never represented to this court that he in fact designated the classified documents as personal. He made no such claim in his motion to dismiss, in his reply, or at the hearing on March 14th, 2024, despite every opportunity and every incentive to do so. And the reason is simple. He never did so. Now, here's why Smith wants to settle this particular issue once and for all right now. Times reports it like this, quote, "At a hearing last month, Judge Cannon herself expressed skepticism about Trump's assertion, saying it was most likely not enough to dismiss the case before it went to trial. But then, within days, she made a surprising move, ordering the former president's lawyers and Mr. Smith's prosecutors to send her proposed jury instructions, suggesting she was open to embracing the very same defense." Wow. As legal experts point out, that is highly unusual. It's a highly unusual order, since any instructions for a jury are dealt with in the days and weeks before a trial happens. And Cannon, as we all know, for her part, hasn't even set a trial date. Cannon's request has also set off alarm bells inside the special counsel's office. On that front, the Times reports this, quote, "By appearing to adopt Trump's position on the Presidential Records Act, the judge seemed to be nudging any eventual jurors toward acquitting Trump, or even leaving open the possibility that she herself could acquit Trump near the end of the proceeding by declaring that the government had failed to prove its case. Now, prosecutors are asking her to rule on Trump's claim that the documents belong to him. So, quote, if the court wrongly concludes that it does, the special counsel can appeal to higher court. Smith's push for a quick decision comes after months of chaos created by Judge Aileen Cannon, with hearings on arguments the New York Times says this about, quote, many federal judges would have rejected out of hand, end quote. Wow. Weeks have gone by, and there's been nothing to appeal, right? No rulings, no word from the judge on important logistical issues either. All of it playing directly into what we all know is Trump's big political strategy to delay all of the trials until after the November election. And today's news on this front is that Trump seems to, wittingly or unwittingly, be getting some help in that effort from Judge Aileen Cannon. His strategy of delay is all the more frustrating for any person, any American who would like to see these cases adjudicated, the criminal cases involving Donald Trump. And of this one, the criminal documents probe, is one that even Bill Barr, his former attorney general, describes as open and shut. Listen to more of the people who work for Trump.
If you were still representing Donald Trump, which of all these cases would you be most concerned about?
Classified documents.
Classified. Why?
I think that is the case that is the most likely to survive an appeal.
Clearly, it was unauthorized, illegal, and dangerous.
This is such a tight case. The evidence is so overwhelming.
This was a case that entirely of his own making. He had no right to those documents. The government tried for over a year quietly and with respect to get them back, which was essential that they do. And he jerked them around. And he had no legal basis for keeping them.
He had no legal basis for keeping them, said Bill Barr. It's where we start today with some of our favorite reporters and friends. Former U.S. Attorney, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Harry Litman is here. Also joining us, former Republican Congressman, MSNBC political analyst David Jolly is back, and Politico national correspondent and MSNBC contributor Betsy Woodruff-Swan is here. So, Harry Litman, I don't want to need a law degree to understand this answer. So tell me in plain English what Jack Smith can do.
He can force her to rule, and if she doesn't, bring called a mandamus. That's the one little legal thing I'll give you.
See?
To the 11th
We can't
Circuit.
do it.
Right. Okay, I'll do better. Her order was not only bizarre, but it was dangerous because it suggested she could totally, sort of the judicial equivalent of the perfect crime, actually acquit him after trial had started. And this is the most important filing Jack Smith has done since the indictment itself, because it's very hard-nosed and it says, we're done with this. I'm not going to follow your suggestion. And moreover, Judge, you need to rule on this now. You can't just keep dithering. And if you don't, there are ways to, and it's the best, method we can. We've been casting about, how do we get her off the case? There are ways to get the court above you to require you to do it. Maybe you haven't done anything we can glom onto yet, but now we're telling you, if you don't rule here and you leave this possibility open, we are taking you up to the 11th Circuit and asking them to get you off the case. That's plain English, yeah?
Well, yeah, that's pretty good. And I guess I asked that because Trump's not playing a legal game. He's playing a political game. So I'm done trying to understand the legal landscape, because whether we like it or not, we're playing Trump's game. Jack Smith is. Aileen Cannon sure as hell is. And I want to understand how a judge is entertaining an argument that Trump doesn't believe. Here's Trump making abundantly clear on audio tape that he doesn't think these things are his. This is him waving around something he knows is classified that was created by General Mark Milley. Listen.
Well, with Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. These are the papers. This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to figure out
declassify it. See, as president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't, but this is classified.
Now.
It's Trump in his own voice. I can't show it to you because it's classified. And when I was president, I could have declassified it and shown it to you if I wanted to. But now I can't. He knows. He knows these are not personal records.
That's right. So 2 problems with the argument that he keeps making and making and making. 1, no facts. 2, no law. But Cannon has not only been indulging him on it, because he does keep making it on the papers, but she's been suggesting most recently, most ominously, she could kind of actually grant him his fondest wish after the jury is seated, and then there's no recourse because it's double jeopardy. You can't go back. And it's here now. They've been, I think, trying to find out how can we try to get her off, and they've decided now's the time. We're going to tell her, quit messing around. You've got to cut bait on this. If you want to rule that there's something valid here, go ahead and do it. We'll take it on appeal. If you want to rule that there isn't, go ahead and do it. But don't be dithering in the middle. And if you keep doing it, there are ways for us to force your hand. It's a very forceful and really kind of cheeky pushback of a motion from Smith, and it could change the dynamic of the whole case.
So if it's cheeky, I mean, why not just directly claim that there's a conflict of interest? I mean, even the witnesses don't think that there's a good faith effort to protect them. Let me show you one of the witnesses changing his life, going public because of what he's afraid Judge Cannon's going to do. This is Brian Butler.
Yeah.
Why are you speaking out publicly with your story now?
Well, I mean, it's
it's been almost a year since FBI agents showed up at my house when my wife was at home. And, over the course of the last year, emotionally, it's been a roller coaster. A couple weeks ago, Judge Cannon says she's going to release the names of the witnesses. You go from highs and lows in this. And instead of just waiting for it to just come out, I think it's better that I get to at least say what happened than it coming out in the news, people calling me like crazy. I'd rather just get it out there.
So this is a witness in a criminal trial afraid of what the defendant will do once Judge Cannon releases the witnesses. Tell me what you think is being navigated behind the scenes, what the deepest concerns are on the part of Jack Smith and the witnesses.
It's the perfect point the way he put it, Nicole. He's scared of what will happen. Jack Smith is scared of what will happen, but Cannon has been very kind of careful not to do it yet, suggests that she might. If she were actually to rule in a way that endangered him, boom, you have an appeal to the 11th Circuit. But until she does, that's what you need. You need an order. And what matters about this motion is Jack Smith has told her, if you don't do an order, that very fact that you're not doing an order is what we are going to bring up to the Court of Appeals. You've been suggesting things, making all of us scared, but not actually giving anything for the court to glom onto in the 11th Circuit. Now we're letting you know. Rule, or we're going to take you up anyway for not ruling. That's an unusual thing to do, but they've perfectly set the table to do it.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.